Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Turner, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Austin, I want to congratulate you on the leadership that you provided in the effort of just the unbelievable logistics that have had to be undertaken to support Ukraine. Thank you for doing that. This Congress, of course, has been a lead in pushing the administration for the weapon systems that have been provided, but your response has been extraordinary. My questions today are for General Milley. General Milley, when we were all gathered together to talk about the budget document for 2023, we had a discussion concerning SLCM, the Sea-Launched Cruise Missile. It is a low-yield nuclear weapon. It was a capability that we had previously that was retired in 2010. The decision had been made to redeploy the SLCM capability. In our budget hearings in 2023, you stated that redeploying SLCM was important for U.S. Credible deterrence. Specifically, you said, the president deserves to have multiple options to deal with national security situations, recognizing the change that has occurred in Russia's posture. Does that remain your position today?
It does. There's alternative views, but that's my position. That's correct.
Thank you. Turning to the issue of spectrum, that is radio frequency spectrum. As you know, DOD is not just a user of radio frequency. You're a part of the federal government. The federal government is an owner of radio frequency. You don't operate in those frequency areas as a licensee or pursuant to a lease. You are part of the use of the federal government of reserving to itself for its own use radio frequency spectrum. There have been attempts to diminish or limit the access of the Department of Defense to radio frequency spectrum. I believe it's in the 3.1 to 3.45 gigahertz spectrum. I know you'd know more about this than I would. Could you please give us some information about what would that mean if we require DOD to move from the spectrum that you're currently in, or if we allow others into the spectrum? How would that affect your operations?
It would be significant. I don't want to go into great detail in an unclassified session, but it would be significant in terms of our ability to sense the environment and respond to threats in the environment, things like radars, et cetera. So I think—
I think you need to turn your microphone on.
Oh, okay. So let me just say that again. It would be significant impact, I think, on national security if we were compelled to vacate that portion of the spectrum. There's an ongoing study. My recommendation has been to the Secretary and to don't make any final decisions until that study is complete, which is estimated to be in September. When that study is complete, then we can make some fully informed recommendations, and then the President can make appropriately informed decisions on what to do with that spectrum. Ultimately, a lot of people want to share it, and I understand that, and I understand the principle behind it, and I think the economy is really important, and there's trillions of dollars at stake here. All of that's true. But there's also significant national security interest in that particular portion of the spectrum. So we've got to do it right, and if we make a mistake at it, we're going to be paying for it for years, not only in dollars, but in risk for a decade or two.
So it would affect our capabilities, correct,
I'm sorry?
General? It would affect our capabilities.
It would absolutely affect our
And it would cost us trillions of dollars, not just trillions of dollars in the economy, trillions of dollars in defense spending to try to adjust, to move you from your spectrum.
To be honest, I'd have to get you some numbers off to Mike McCord, but it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot of money.
Excellent. Turning to, sorry, Secretary, my question's for General Milley. General Milley, turning to missile defense. Russia has changed its posture with respect to nuclear weapons, now claiming that they might put nuclear weapons in Belarus. Certainly, saber rattling, indicating they're suspending New START. They have undertaken development of Poseidon, Skyfall, Avangard, hypersonic nuclear weapons, Satan II, which is a MIRVed weapon. China is perhaps tripling their nuclear weapons capabilities. Do you think it's time that we revisit missile defense as we are sitting without real capabilities to respond if there is an attack upon the United States?
Well, to be clear, strategic stability depends on an assured second strike capability, which we have, and we can guarantee it without question. So the United States, from a nuclear deterrent posture, we are very secure because we have an exceptional nuclear system enterprise consisting of the triad that you're well aware of and the NC3, and we're trying to recapitalize that for the out years. But so the stability of the nuclear system is an assured second strike. That's the fundamental underpinning of deterrence between us and Russia. But there are other countries out there that are advancing. North Korea, for example, maybe not with Iran, who knows? So with smaller numbers. And I think an integrated air and missile defense system is critical. We have that in the Pacific. We have a layered defensive system that comes all the way from Japan all the way back with radars and sensors. And we have a number of capabilities that can shoot down incoming threats. And I think that making that robust is a smart thing to do. We did a missile defense review, and there's piece parts in that. This is very expensive. It takes many years, but I think it's worthy of consideration.
Gentleman's time's expired.